Next up, we'll hear from an AARP Community Challenge grantee that held a design competition for ADUs as a way of creating more housing choice in their community.
Joining us for this AARP Community Challenge grantee interview is Viviana Frank, the founder of nonprofit City Makery and co-founder and partner of Able City. She is a registered architect in Texas and New York with over 30 years of experience. Viviana led City Makery's efforts to apply for a Community Challenge grant in 2023. Viviana, we're so excited that you've joined us live from San Antonio, Texas, for an interview about your Community Challenge grant project. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. And also thank you for allowing us to speak on this great experience that we had with the Community Challenge grant. The City of San Antonio Neighborhood Housing Services Department teamed with Able City and our nonprofit affiliate City Makery to host a public information campaign and design competition focused on accessory dwelling units. And that's policy speak language for garage apartments, cuartitos, guest house, and of course, my personal favorite, which is in-law suite, which I live in one in San Antonio. And Able City is an architecture planning, public engagement, and economic development firm, but City Makery is what walks the talk from a philanthropic side and focuses on engagements that serve the idea that access to a happy life is the main purpose of cities, which just pairs perfectly with what AARP is trying to do with its grants. We are team builders and coalition builders. So Seema Kareem with Able City at the time, and now with the San Antonio Housing Trust, and Siboney Diaz Sanchez. She's a community engagement administrator for the City of San Antonio Neighborhood and Housing Services Department. They were the engine facilitators of the project, along with Kristen Ramirez and Maribel Azura, who I talk about people a lot here because they are really the people who are they're accomplished people, but their common thread with all the people that we work with, and this is something that we start out with, explaining our methodologies very carefully, is that the common thread is that there is their ability to facilitate and implement ideas, policies into incredible cities that serve the whole person. Ultimately, the biggest jazz that we get out of all of this is to help citizens become city makers. So, and that's what the Challenge Grant has helped us do, and what this competition has done for ADUs. So just an additional brief overview. We followed a plan that already exists that was adopted by the city. It's a strategic housing initiative plan. It tracks the goals. It set out to provide information on the benefits of ADUs. That's one of its main focuses. Develop resources and finance tools for it to assist communities to get a program that serves their needs for a happy life in their community. And of course, to approach design in a way that would serve a person at any age of their lives or any stage of their life.
Fantastic.
Particularly and noteworthy, the commitment to coalition building and facilitating by the team. That was amazing. And they captured the ADU concept in a competition package, which was accessible to all ages with easy prompts. People could draw freehand or on a computer. It was very engaging.
That's fantastic, Viviana. Thank you so much for sharing all of that about the project, kind of what spawned it and some of the ways that you made it happen and some of the impact. Now, it sounds like the partnerships involved were pretty instrumental to the success here. Now, and throughout this workshop, we're also talking about how communities can design more inclusive communities. One of the most critical pieces to inclusive design is inclusive community engagement. Now, how did City Makery and its partners ensure that San Antonio's diverse population was well represented in this event? How were older adults engaged in this process?
Well, there was a media blitz. There was a lot of thought before the media blitz on what to say and who to engage and in the development of the competition booklet, which was very accessible to people of any age. Again, they could draw freehand, they can draw on a computer, they could be an architect, they could be a student. There was a tremendous amount of engagement for people. Well, in the competition itself, there was, from the participants that came in, 8% of the participants were 50 and over, but 100% of the submissions considered residents ages 50 and over. It went across the whole city. There were flyers. There were over 1,000 flyers. It included meeting at schools and libraries and senior citizens, bringing in students from San Antonio College and from UTSA. It was very deep. And of course, all of that meant working with a lot of people in communities and neighborhoods in senior centers and other places to begin the discussion of what this is all about. And of course, there was a lot of videos and explainer videos. It was very deep. Yes. So let's see. They engaged 36 students and 21 volunteers around ADU design exercise at the Pipeline Architecture Summer Camp hosted by the National Organization of Minority Architects. The Disability SA was involved. There was a lot of community engagement.
That's fantastic. And I think it's something that we've heard very loud and clear over the last 2 days, the importance of engagement, the importance of listening, and doing some of the things that you described, right? Going outside the traditional avenues to reach people, going where people gather rather than just where we always go. Now, as you noted, engaging the right partners can make all the difference in executing a successful project. We found that housing choice design competitions can be an effective tool to encourage the permitting and construction of ADUs where they're already legalized. Now, for you, did the design competition contribute to the implementation of the city's strategic housing plan in any ways? And how would you say this competition influenced residents' perspectives on ADUs, which is really important, and specifically their perspectives as a viable housing option for themselves?
I'll take the second question first. I think the most important thing that people found out about ADUs is that they knew a lot about ADUs, but they didn't call them ADUs. They understood their needs as a person living in a city and having a parent that needs some help or a little bit of extra income coming in because they have a lot big enough to have a little apartment on a garage apartment that needs to be fixed up. A lot of times people just don't know that there's opportunity to engage with the city. That's part of the democratic process that they can engage in, and they need to be given the tools to be able to do it. They lose their frustration about it all because they have given a name to what they need and what they've been asking for, but don't know how or don't know how to engage to get it, or that's it's just that people really want health and happiness and the ability to, get to places easier in their city. And it starts with a home, and it starts with a home integrated into a neighborhood. And there was a lot of respondents that in the submissions that spoke to that. And in terms of the city adopting a program from the ADU, you can go to their website and see what they have put in there. They have plans that are pre-permitted. They have sources for financing. They give you direction on that. They have people that you can talk to about construction. It's coming in and permeating slowly and cautiously, and but with great desire to serve the public and what they need from their city. They are following through on their plan. I can't tell you how important it is that they have adopted policy and language that allows for these things to, move on. And that's what San Antonio's very good at. They've and the people who work in housing in San Antonio, they listen and they produce policy that is workable.
Well, that's fantastic, Viviana. It sounds like this project for you kind of hit that sweet spot of helping to engage residents, helping them understand the benefits, maybe even changing some views, as well as helping to influence and advance policy. Really just sounds like it knocked it out of the park for you. And we're so glad to be a part of that. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to join us today, share your project with us. And I know that what you've just shared and the example in San Antonio and your organization's work is going to inspire other communities to take action. So thank you so much for joining us, Viviana.
Thank you.
That was a great conversation, Mike. And I really like that housing design competitions like the one they have over there in San Antonio can help communities to think creatively about their housing options, not just for policy, but increasing creativity as well is crucial. We can create more multi-generational housing, which is a big need, and provide housing options for older family members who may wish to age in place, as we know many do. So Mike, what can other communities do if they were inspired by that story?
Well, I'm sure you were inspired by that story because it's a really impactful one. And we know that it's a story that's being replicated across the country. And I'm really glad you asked that, Rodney. We have actually a new resource coming out today called the AARP Housing Design Competition Toolkit. This resource was created with the R.L. Mace Universal Design Institute, and it's full of examples and inspiration for encouraging local leaders, community members, students, and building professionals to get creative, as Rodney said, about expanding housing choices for older adults and people of all ages. You can check out the slide on your screen or visit www.aarp.org/housing design. That's all one word.
Thanks, Mike.